I'm about to attach the Cordsmith directly to my work to make an I-cord. So I thought I would just show you how I do it. Pretty simple and relatively self-explanatory, but it can be confusing if you've never done it before, and just it's nice to see someone else do it and figure it out. So this is my lotus top. This is a pattern by Namaste and Crochet. It's pretty much done. I'm just doing the final cord. So I have 2 neck straps, and then I did the one strap that's gonna zigzag or like lace up in the back, and then this is the other side. So I find the spot I want to put the cord, and this is a 3-stitch Cordsmith. I will link below where you can get this, and she has a, this is the regular size. She also has a mini for like finer yarns, even though I've used this with fingering weight and it's worked really good. So the finer would just make a tighter cord, but I've been pretty happy with the with this for both. This does not work very well with bulky. I do have a quick video on this, using this with different yarns, and also I never talked about how to bind off in that video. So actually in the end of this video, I will show you how I bind off the I-cord from this, because it's, again, it's relatively self-explanatory. I kind of just had to figure it out, but it made sense once I did it. So here's my side. I have the wrong side facing me, I believe, or where do I want the wrong side facing me? No, I want the right side. No, I want the wrong side facing me because I think that's where the yarn's going to pop out. So then I grab, where's it going to be, the other side? No, I want the side, I want my yarn tail to stick out in the back. Not that it matters because it's pretty easy to weave in, but I'm going to just save that step. So I'm going to have the front facing me. And then I find my 3 stitches. So I have just this little edge here. There's 1, 2, 3 stitches here. I'm going to pick up. So I'm using the crochet hook that I made the top with, just because it's easier to get in there, and trying to use this directly is definitely too fiddly. So I'm going to pick up these stitches I want, leaving a little tail. Obviously you could put in like a slip knot if you want. I usually don't. I usually just tie a knot myself at the end. So again, preferences on how you do things, but it does make for a little loosey-goosey stitch here, but it's fine. I don't have any issues with it. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So here's my 3 stitches, and you kind of loosen them up. Now, when I use my I-cord, I want my working yarn to come from this needle, because then I wrap it around this way. I'm pretty sure you can wrap it around either way. So like if you're working yarns from this needle and you come around the other way, you can do that. It's like however you hold this and do this, it's fine, but just know that wherever you want your working yarn to come through, that is where your final picked up stitch needs to be. So I'm going to just slide these off and turn it so that the final stitch is here, and just slowly get them on. Make sure they're under the latches. So you got the little latches there. So make sure all my yarn is under the latches. And now my working yarn is coming from the final stitch that I prefer it to. Kind of anchor that first stitch that's loose, since I didn't put any kind of slip knot or anything. And then I wrap my yarn around. And so now let's make sure it's under the latches. And then for the first round or 2, I manually just push the loops over just to make sure it's in there. Pull it down, make sure it's under the latches, come around again, and pull up. And then again, like I said, for the first round or 2, just to make sure it's starting okay. Then you can give your little tail a pull there, and then at some point you can then, it still feels a little tight, so to loosen it up, I kind of give it a wiggle. I do have another video that I talk about this, all these little techniques, so. And then here we go. Now, and I don't go super fast because I've tended to drop stitches, and so this is cotton yarn, so when I drop the stitch, it doesn't tend to like disappear, like if it would be like a fine yarn or a silky yarn or something that's slippery. The stitch usually just sits there, so I can easily re-pick it back up. But for the most part, this is just time to go. So I will be back when I get to the end, and I will show you how I bind it off, and how I take care of this little end here. And that'll be that. And that is just another quick demonstration of how I use my Cordsmith. Once again, all the links will be down below. I'll link the pattern I'm working on. I'll link where you can get the Cordsmith, and I'll also link the previous video of demonstrating the Cordsmith with different yarns. And yeah, I hope that was helpful, and I will catch you next time. Or, well, I'll see you in the next clip. Hey guys, I'm back. I literally just did like a half an hour on the treadmill and finished. So I finished under the time. So it took less than 30 minutes to get a almost 40-inch chain. And as far as like matching up the length between the sides, I just eyeball it. So I kind of just hold it up and, oh, that is not the right chain. Let's find the right one. And I did the same thing with the straps for the top. I just kind of eyeball, because if it's a couple rows less or so, but this is pretty spot on, so it's not going to be noticeable. It's going to be laced up and tied. So, and honestly, this is a little bit longer than I was going, but again, it's easier to have more length than not enough. So we are ready to bind off. So when you bind off an I-cord on the stitches, you knit the first stitch, and then you take the next stitch and flip it over itself and continue in that fashion. So that is what I'm kind of doing. So I'm going to knit the first stitch by hand. So I have my yarn under the hook and loop it over. So then you have that. And then I'm going to take that loop and pull it off. And again, there's probably multiple ways to do this, but I just like the way this one looks. So now my next stitch is under the loop. Except I just dropped it. Okay, so then, and again, it's a little fiddly, but I'm doing it by hand. So make sure the loop is a little bit tight and under the hook. It's under the second hook. And I pull I don't know if you can hear Hobbs outside of the door. Flip that over. So bind off the second stitch. So then I take that loop, loosen that loop up, pull it off. I know my angles are weird. I should have had my overhead camera, but this is supposed to be just a quick demonstration. So then I have my third hook there. The working yarn is pulling from that. And I go over top. And here we are with our final hoop, which I think you can just pull it through, like cut the yarn, pull it through, but I always do a little knot. So I will find my scissors and cut a little tail. These are terrible scissors. Okay. And again, you can just pull it through if you want, or I like it to extra secure. I make a little knot at the end there. So there's that. And here we are. Then you weave this end in. And like I said, I was going to talk about this one. So this one I am going to take, do I have a needle handy? And so this is like a loose thread. So I never was secured anywhere. So I will take it and make sure I'm on the wrong side. Okay, that's the wrong side of the work. And I will just loop it under a stitch like so. Make a loop and bring it through the center to knot it. And if I feel like it needs a second knot, I will, but I feel like that's fine. And then I'll just weave it back up into the I-cord, which I can do real quick. So I'll just kind of stick it in there, and you'll find the center of it, and you'll literally go up the center. It's a little finicky, but you keep kind of zhuzhing along, making sure you're not popping out any of the sides. You'll keep going under the bars in the center. And so you can kind of see my needle is just in the center. So I go up and then I come out, pull it up. So now it's nice and secure in there. And do I have my butter scissors in here? I do. So then I kind of pull it down just a hair, snip it, and voila, it's gone. So it's in there. And I will do the same for this end, and then this is officially done. So it has been lightly steamed already, and yeah, I just need to finish the skirt, and we have an outfit. So hopefully this isn't way too long. I mean, it looks pretty long, but like I think it's gonna be okay. But that is for another video. So thank you for checking this out. If you have any questions about the Cordsmith, you can ask me. I don't know if I have the answer, but if you go to the website or you follow Autumn on Instagram, she is very good at answering questions and everything. So this has been a very, very useful project for me this summer. So I highly recommend. So I will talk to you later.